Anyway, welcome back to Dspn. So we'll start with the college basketball predictions. I'm not going to go over all the games because, quite frankly, I didn't really watch any of them because they all ended the way that the bracket would have put all of the top seeds winning.
All the one seeds won.
Because of NIL.
So this is genuinely one of the most boring March Madnesses ever. And I know not every year there's going to be a big Cinderella team, but every year there's usually at least a 2 seed that sneaks into the Final Four. This year we didn't even get that. So
we'll start with our predictions. I have the bracket on this side. Auburn will take on Florida. I think I would give this game to Florida. I believe we gave it to Florida in our bracket as well.
I don't know. This one's a toss-up. Give me Florida. Give me the Gators.
Florida has a 30-4 record to Auburn's 28-6.
Yeah, give me the Gators.
And then for the other side, Duke takes on Houston, which I think would be a really good game.
Give me Houston.
Really?
Give me Houston.
I have Duke
Give me the
winning
Cougs.
that. I have Duke winning that, even though I don't know if they could compete with Houston scoring now.
Give me the Cougs.
So the next question is a debate topic that I've been thinking about. Is this quite possibly the most boring March Madness of all time?
Nothing really, no real double-digit seeds really came in besides Arkansas making the run. But, the other team that we had was McNeese, and they won 1 game. So, there was no real, captivating team to watch that, just kind of stole your heart. There's no Loyola Chicago. There's no Florida Gulf Coast, or there's no VCU or just any sort of past team or any team in the future that was going to be a Cinderella. We got those games that, were could have beens, games that were close, like High Point Purdue for a while. But honestly, I don't think that'd be too far-fetched to say it was the most boring March Madness ever, because for the past few, we've had some decent upsets, some mid-major teams make it far, but this year we didn't have any of those.
And I think a lot of that is due to the NIL stuff, because you just throw enough money at players, you're going to win. So
yeah, if you toss enough money at somebody, they're going to take the bait and play for you, or you're going to win.
Because I don't know if you know this, but people coming out of high school, they really like money. They really want money, and they'll do a lot of things for money. So playing basketball would be one of them.
Yep.
So the next one is, Mason, this one was actually a big one for you, coming out of this weekend. The NFL is trying to ban the tush push again.
Yeah, I was just talking about this with my dad. But honestly, you adapt. You don't ban. The thing is, though, is that the play, honestly, other teams could run it. I feel like the Bills are a team that's, could run it. I think the Ravens could run it, but, their quarterbacks don't squat cars, so do their running backs, and, a lot of things need to happen to be able to run that play.
I think Derrick Henry could squat a car.
Well, I'm not talking about squatting cars. I'm talking about the tush push.
I know.
But I honestly don't see the point in banning it. It's just a QB sneak. It's a QB sneak with an extra step. That's honestly what it is. It's just a tactical QB sneak. I don't see the problem.
Yeah, I see where they come from in the fact that nobody's been able to stop it. But, at the same time, if nobody could stop it, it's because it's run well. It's not because of the fact that somebody's so good at it. No, it's because nobody can stop it. And if no one can stop it.
I saw an interview with Sean McDermott just before recording this, and he was saying it's regarding player safety, and they want to ban it because of the safety of the players and the motions and all the stuff. There is no significant evidence. There is no evidence at all, actually. There is no claims. There is no evidence that prove that the tush push hurts people, offensive and defense. There is no proof that it does that.
It hurts the team's
Here's
chance
the
to
thing.
win.
Maybe you don't suck at running it, and then it won't be such a problem. If you weren't garbage at running it, then it wouldn't be such a big deal. But guess what? You suck at running it. That's why. That's why you're going to try and ban it, is because only one team's good at it. And it's the Birds, baby.
Go Birds. But, like, they tried to ban it, like, 2 years ago, and they said nothing about it. And then, all of a sudden, the Eagles win the Super Bowl.
Oh, Eagles win the Super Bowl. It's all tush-push. It's all tush-push. That's it. They definitely didn't have running back with the greatest rushing season of all time and a quarterback that proved that he can play well in most games of the season, and the best offensive line in the league, and the best defense in the league, and the best secondary in the league, and same thing with a pass rush.
That definitely didn't shut down the best quarterback in the league.
Yeah, and definitely didn't win 40-6 in the Super Bowl. So, like, it was all the tush push. It was all the tush push. I mean, they scored 40 points off the tush push in the Super Bowl, and they scored 55 in the NFC Championship just using the tush push. That's it.
Yeah, none of that was Saquon running the ball.
Yeah,
like
none of it was Saquon. None of it was A.J. Brown. It was all the tush push.
Well, in the Super Bowl it wasn't Saquon, but in the NFC Championship it was.
It was just all the tush push.
So the next thing is another Pennsylvania team had a big headline coming out of this weekend. Aaron Rodgers had a productive day with the Steelers. He's basically a Steeler by now, right?
Yeah, I don't really see another outcome other than him playing for the Steelers, and I think that would be so funny because I know for a fact that every Steelers fan in the world will be against that idea.
Dude, that's going to be a toxic working environment.
You've got George Pickens, DK Metcalf, freaking Aaron Rodgers, and Darius Slay on there too, stirring the pot.
There's going to be a fight on that team. Like, I guarantee you George Pickens and DK Metcalf are going to have to, like, fist fight to the death for number 14.
Last year at training camp, there was a fight. Cue clip here.
Read option, okay.
Oh, they hit the TV.
Oh, shit.
I started filming time, man. Because the lineman came up to defend the quarter.
That one was pretty bad. The whole team had to be separated from each other. So this year, it's going to be worse. So grab your popcorn, Steelers fans, because you're about to watch the biggest mess of your life, and they're going to go 9-8 or whatever, and still make the playoffs because Mike Tomlin somehow knows how to do that.
To quote another YouTuber, Urinating Tree, welcome to Days of Our Steelers.
Welcome to Days of Our Steelers.
Now moving on to the NBA, the playoffs are soon. So Mason, do you have a NBA team that you think is going to win the chip right now? Like, if you had to make a prediction right now.
I think the Thunder have been absolutely curb stomping people. They have already clinched the conference, and they did that a while ago.
They're up by 20-ish,
they're
10
up
games.
by almost 15 games. They could literally sit everybody right now, lose every game, and still get the 1 seed in the West. That is outrageous. They've been absolutely running through people.
And I wouldn't be shocked if that's what happens for the last 5 games or so on their season. Like, they just sit Shea. Actually, no, Shea's going for MVP. But they'd sit Chet. They'd sit Dort.
Yeah.
They'd sit all those guys, and they would probably still.
And guess what? You might have an early first-round draft pick. Sixers, do your job.
My Cavs, I also think, still have to be the favorite to come out of the East, right?
Yeah, they are. They're the favorite as of now to come out of the East, but I wouldn't be surprised to see another team not named the Knicks to make a run.
If we lose to the Knicks for the 3rd year in a row, I'm gonna smack someone.
Yeah, I probably would too, because I just don't like the Knicks.
Speaking of the Knicks, Jalen Brunson hopes to be back before the playoffs, which would be huge for them, wouldn't it?
It would. It'd give them an extra few games to, get things set, get things ready, give them time to gel again with the team. But honestly, when you're missing your key starter, it's definitely hard to play without him. And
I mean, to be fair, they do still have a great core without him. You can't argue with Cat and Josh Hart
Mid.
and
Mikal Bridges. And, they still have a... They do still have a good core.
But like I think they would be another good one. And and we talked about the Cavs earlier. It is their first 60-win season without LeBron James.
Ever?
No, since he left.
Their first 60-win season without LeBron James since 2003. That is insane.
Yeah, it's
Dude.
I'm happy though because we have a really good team.
Yeah, because this is the first time in the past 20 years where it hasn't been, Anderson Varejao running the show or, LeBron with Zdrunas Igalskis and
Kevin Love,
Wally Serbiak, and then you've got him and Cedi Osman and Iman Shumpert and J.R. Smith.
The fact you just named off our whole team.
Yes, he played with a bunch of Dan Smiths. Shout out Dan Smith if you're watching this. Your name's extremely generic, but he played with a bunch of nobodies. All right, don't get me wrong. Kyrie is an exception to the nobody thing.
Kevin Love to
an
extent.
To an extent.
Tristan Thompson?
Is that no. And then Igalskis, Serbiak weren't terrible, but
J.R. Smith is.
They weren't bums, but towards the end of LeBron's time with the Cavs, he was playing with a bunch of chumps.
He had Jordan Clarkson and Larry Nance starting.
Yeah, Jordan Clarkson
before he was at least decent at playing basketball.
Jordan Clarkson and Larry Nance Jr. and LeBron James somehow pumped out a decent season.
All right, to be fair, Jordan Clarkson has become a pretty good player as of late.
All right,
for the Jazz, but still.
Let's quit talking about these irrelevant Cavs players.
Instead, we'll talk about another irrelevant team. The Philadelphia 76ers have been eliminated from playoff contention. Yeah, nice, buddy. Yeah, irrelevant team, huh?
I was calling your players irrelevant.
I know, and I just called your whole team irrelevant.
How many chips without Bron?
How many chips in the past, in this millennia? But, yeah, what are your thoughts as a Sixers fan yourself? Thoughts on the season? It's been
a complete disaster.
Except for the first 20 games.
No, it was a disaster from game 1. That 10-game, that stretch where they won 8 out of 10 games in December is kind of coming back to haunt us, because if we won maybe 5 out of those 10 or 6, then we would probably be a little safer about our draft pick. But no, they had to make it difficult. Nick Nurse has been quite an interesting coach this year. I mean, he has made some very, very questionable decisions. Tyrese Maxey's been balling out. And
McCain balled out for the 20 games he played.
I believe that Maxey got snubbed from the All-Star game. Jared McCain was great for the time that he actually played.
Probably would have won Rookie of the Year if he kept it up. And Embiid just sat down for the whole season, and Paul George did what we're doing right now. Except we do it better.
Make podcast equipment more expensive, just for Paul George. For a few other people, but
except I think we're better at doing this. Okay, and then also Kevin Durant is out with a high ankle sprain, which is a pretty big blow to the Suns if they want to be able to make a decent run in the playoffs.
They're not going to make playoffs. I don't think
they're not making. I
don't think they're in the playoffs.
I think they're in the play-in, if I'm not mistaken.
I think they're either in a low playoff spot or not in a playoff spot, but either way, that's pretty big for the Suns.
Especially if they want to even make the playoffs.
Yes.
Big for them. Going into the NHL before we get into our MLB bit, Ovechkin is 5 goals away from the NHL record of most goals in a career. He is at 890 to Gretzky's 895.
That is outrageous.
Do you think he gets it this season?
I think he will. I think he'll get it this season. I think he will.
He should retire just after doing that, right?
I would.
You're
well on your way to a Hall of Fame career, and
he's been on his way to a Hall of Fame career for years.
He's been on his way from a Hall of Fame career for the past 10 years. So,
I think he could retire right now if he wanted to.
Yeah. Is that it for the NHL, or do you?
That is it for the NHL.
But not. It's not, because the Flyers fired their coach John Tortorella, which you forgot.
Thank you for reminding me. Big news.
And since then, they've been They've been pretty good, which is not a good thing because they're pretty much eliminated from the playoffs. I don't know if they have been already, but they're pretty bad. And if they want to, make that draft pick a little sweeter, make the lottery odds a little better, then they better start losing. I need the Michael Misa or like James Hagens skating around for the Flyers in 2 seasons. So
put us out there.
yes, and Matvei Michkov also on a roll. I think he's got 9 points in his last 5 games.
Please stop.
No,
I'm saying for
no.
the team's own good.
Now I want Michkov to have 1,000 more points by the end of the season, and the Flyers to lose every game
And my Sabres beat the crap out of the Penguins.
and lost to the Flyers,
We don't talk about that.
which is a good thing for Buffalo.
But we beat the snot out of the Pittsburgh Penguins. I just want to say that now.
And the Caps.
And the next day, we were in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
After that, and they were playing it on the TV in Permati Brothers, and man, that was
funny. That
yeah,
was really funny.
That made me laugh a little bit.
That was actually quite hilarious.
That made my day a lot better. Then I watched Tyler the Creator. Shout
It
out to him.
always makes my day better when I see the Penguins lose. Watching the Penguins not succeed is one of my favorite things in life.
So on to the MLB. Probably the biggest news about the start of the season is the rise of the Torpedo bat. Mason, would you like to tell us what a Torpedo bat is?
So a torpedo bat, it's a normal bat, like a normal bat kind of like goes up and then just goes out, and it kind of stays that way. But the torpedo bat, it goes like thin, and then it goes kind of fat, and then it thins out a little bit at the top. And it was made so players that would hit the ball a lot towards the logo of the bat were kind of getting, choked up a little bit. No, I can't draw that.
You can't?
No.
Here, can you pull up a picture then and show the audience?
Yeah.
But these things have been rising pretty well in the MLB as of late, especially on the Yankees, who also play in a very small ballpark, so you can probably tell how, OP baseball bat plus very tiny stadium equals many home runs, especially
Yes.
when you have a player like Aaron Judge.
All right, so you might be able to see this, you might not, but this is Jazz Chisholm's torpedo bat, and you can see how it gets a little fat on the end, and then it kind of, skinnies out towards there, and so far it's working for some people, it's not working for some people. Alec Boehm had one today for the Phillies.
Did it work?
I don't know.
Did we get a Bowman homer?
I don't know.
But what are your thoughts on the Torpedo bat?
It'll probably be banned by July, or everyone's going to be using it.
It'll be banned by July.
Either everyone's going to be using it, or it'll be banned by July.
Okay.
This is kind of like when the MLB legalized metal bats for one season.
And
And
how'd that go?
Some players really liked it.
And then it was banned by...
And it was banned right after.
I saw a Twitter post from Devin Caney that said that there will be eventually a couple of players on the Phillies that plan to use more torpedo bats.
Yeah.
So I'd love to see, let's see what happens if we give Kyle Schwarber a torpedo bat.
Let's get Kyle Schwarber or Bryce Harper a torpedo bat and throw him a slider inside.
And see how... And
I
put them
dare
right in the
ya.
middle... Put them right at Yankee Stadium, too.
I dare you.
It's
going to look like a football score, dude.
Yeah. And then...
28-3.
One guy who hasn't been doing too well for himself in baseball, Rafael
Devers.
sets the record for most strikeouts in the first 3 games.
A nice $300 million DH who is 0 for, I don't even know, but when you're going 0 for every game,
I mean, at least he's slinging.
You're bound to get benched after a while. When they signed Alex Bregman in free agency, they asked him about third base, and he said, "That's my position." Well, neither is DH. DH isn't your position either. So he got kicked off of third base just to be a DH, and he's about to get kicked off a DH because he's so bad at it. And it's not like he's a bum.
He's being paid $300 million for a reason.
He is a proven MLB talent, but he just can't hit right now. Give him a torpedo bat and a pesky pole, and he's going to hit one soon.
And you might want to get him whatever Profar's on as well, because he just got suspended 80 games for PEDs.
Good. If the Braves' season couldn't get much worse, it just did. They started the season 0-4. They started the season 0-4, and here comes Jurickson Profar, you know, little roid rage coming on, and that's why he was just randomly good last year. It was probably because he was juicing.
It's the Braves are not very good, are they?
Not right now, and I like that.
Because you want to...
Because I don't like the Braves.
Because they knocked...
Because they're rivals with the Phillies.
And then, last but not least, Mason, our player, game, and bum of the week. Would you like to go first for player? Or
I don't really watch much sports this week, other than player of the week is Matvei Michkov.
Because he's Matvei Michkov?
Just because he's on a roll, and he should win the Calder.
I'm going to give mine to Cooper Flack.
I know. Game of the week.
Not yet.
I'm going to go Penn State versus UConn hockey. Penn State sent to the Frozen Four, a 3-2 win in overtime. A great game.
So I'm going to give my player of the week to Cooper Flack, who's been killing it in the March Madness tournament. And then my game of the week is, you know what? Sabres versus Pens, because I like watching the Pens lose, and I like watching the Sabres win. Last but not least, your bum of the week.
I don't know.
I'm going to give mine to Profar.
Okay.
I think that's a pretty good pick.
I'm going to give it to the entire Atlanta Braves team.
So that's going to do it for today's episode of Dspn, and we'll be back next week. Mason is going to throw this at the camera now. And remember, the last 2 weeks, he is 0 for 2 at throwing this at the camera. He better not miss this time, or else he's 0-3.
Go Phillies.